Good afternoon. We're here today to discuss redistricting, a process that takes place once every 10 years, but a process that is nonetheless critical to the functioning of our representative democracy. Early in my administration, in August of 2020, 2 years ago, I proposed a local law that would have required the legislature to create an independent redistricting commission to drive the process here in Monroe County. Why? Because I fundamentally believe that it should be the community, the voters, who choose their representatives, not the other way around, where elected officials are choosing the voters that they wish to represent. Because so much of the dysfunction we see in our system can be tied back to the non-competitive districts drawn with politics, not people, in mind. Unfortunately, the Republican majority of the county legislature does not share my view on this issue, as they rejected my proposal. And they rejected it not once, but twice. Because the county legislature chose not to place Monroe County's redistricting responsibilities in the hands of an independent commission, we have seen over the past several months certain members of the legislature engaging in the type of name-calling and gamesmanship surrounding the process that has only served to confuse our community. Given where we find ourselves, it's critical that we step back, we get an understanding of the law from independent, outside professionals, and bring clarity to a situation that's been blurred by politicians. To do so, I took the necessary and responsible step of engaging a renowned expert with over 30 years of experience as a practitioner and an academic in the areas of redistricting and voting rights, and a national expert in redistricting law with over 40 years experience to consult with my administration and to evaluate the current proposal under consideration by the legislature. Dr. Lisa Hamley and Jeffrey Weiss are here with me today.
Based on not violating the Voting Rights Act, and certainly not complying with it, but by violating the 14th Amendment, that it's a straightforward issue that, thou shalt not pack minority districts in excess of where you already have an effective minority district. So you'd subject the county to possibly extensive and costly litigation when it would be unnecessary to have to go through that exercise. The problem we have is that people think that to comply with the Voting Rights Act, districts either have to be all 50% plus, or in the case of some of the states that have lost these cases before the Supreme Court, let's say 55%. And they're really, guessing. It's really out of cloth that they think they know what they're talking about, but they haven't either looked at the law or the numbers. I'm being very objective. I'm being very straightforward with you on this, that we know what the law requires at this point, and we can't fudge the numbers.
I want to add to that of course my analysis shows quite clearly that the districts that I listed, districts 22, 25, 27, 28, 29, and sometimes 21, are effective minority districts. And I think that the history of these districts. You know that they're electing Black preferred candidates to office. So my analysis merely confirms what your logic probably told you, but my analysis does show that these are clearly effective minority districts.
Good afternoon. As I have mentioned previously, the right question to ask is, does a minority group have the opportunity to elect their candidate of choice? We heard today the answer is yes. In fact, the expert analysis shows we have 5 districts that have historically elected a candidate of choice for Black voters. LD 25 and 22 have consistently elected a Black representative for 55 years. LD 27 has elected Black representatives for 30 years. LD 29 has elected a Black or Latino representative for over 20 years. LD 28 is currently represented by a Black representative and was previously represented by the first Asian American in county legislator history. The demographic data shared previously and now the statistical analysis shared today proves that we already have five effective Black districts. Therefore, our neighborhoods should stay intact, and we should move forward with creating a 6th district, a 6th effective district. At a time when we are faced with much adversity, we should be coming together and support one another. Instead, we are allowing false narratives to divide us. Let's move forward, not backwards, for a brighter, united, and fully informed community. Thank you.
Let me say this. It's clear, I think, after listening to our professionals and their analyses here, what we're dealing with. What we have here is a process that should have been independent, and it was not. Instead, a single legislator and her supporters led a process guided by self-interest and aimed at confusing the public in order to pursue political goals. But when you take the politics out of this, take a step back, listen to the experts that we brought to the table, people who do these analyses across the country, the picture becomes clear. The Barnhart GOP map currently under consideration by the county legislature is deeply flawed. It takes 5 already effective black districts and unconstitutionally packs additional black voters into the districts, diluting their voting power. It takes 1 nearly effective black district, and rather than seeking to strengthen it and create another 6 effective black district, it instead guts it of black voters to create a safe majority white district for the very legislator advancing this flawed plan. This map is not good for our community in general, and it certainly is not good for the community the people promoting this map are purporting to support. The only people benefiting from this map are the legislators currently supporting it. Now that we have an unbiased, expert analysis provided by 2 highly credentialed individuals, I believe the path forward is that we must cool down the rhetoric surrounding this process, and we need to start over. To help facilitate that, my administration will work to create a map using the data analysis conducted by Dr. Hamley that is compliant with all applicable legal requirements under the federal, state, and local laws, including the United States Constitution and the Voting Rights Act, and we will seek to create 6 effective black districts if possible. We will produce this map publicly within the next couple of weeks, and it is my hope that it will serve as a starting point for a conversation with the legislature regarding what the map could and really what the map should look like. And I'm grateful for the willingness of Dr. Hamley and Mr. Weiss to consult on this process as we go forward.